All right, we live.
Let me go to Sisters of Word. Hey everybody, welcome to the Sisters of Word.
Hey, hey. Oh, they coming in. Let them.
Hello, good evening. Please share.
Hello, everyone. Come on in the room.
Oops.
So we're streaming on 3 platforms right now. So excited about that.
This music makes me want to burn candles and get in the bathtub.
Right. Hi,
I'm
you
like a little
guys.
too relaxed.
Right.
Hi everybody. We'll be getting started in just a moment.
Just asking you all to come in and tag and share with somebody and let us know where you're from. I can hear myself through the phone.
Through which phone?
Do you have a phone?
Yeah, but I'm not on the broadcast. Let me see. I
Oh,
clicked out of the page. How about now?
yeah. I can. It's good now.
Okay.
Come on in. We're gonna have a great discussion this this um this afternoon, this evening, and I'm super excited about that. And normally we are on Clubhouse, and today we decided to come on. Here comes Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia.
Hey,
You finally
Redlips.
made it,
Well,
gorgeous.
I don't know what's going on. I go, where should I go? I go live every week and it's a never issue. Anyway, I'm here. Let's have a disciplined conversation. Where do we leave off?
So we're gonna start by everybody introducing themselves. First of all, let me just say this to everybody in the room, to everybody that's gonna be joining us live. We decided, we had a meeting, and we're gonna be here once a month, and we're going to be having great discussions. Same thing that we have done on our Sisters of Worth on Clubhouse. We are now doing it on Facebook and YouTube. We're on my ministry page, Prophetess Simone Ashley. We're on the Sisters of Worth group page, and we're on the YouTube channel Life with Lady Ashley. So we're on 3 channels now. We could actually, if we wanted to, go live on Clubhouse as well, but I don't know how your devices are and how they're set up to go on both, where we can actually, you can do that as well if we want to. But next time we can try that to see how that works. But for now, we wanted to come on here to really show our faces, because a lot of you all see us in the Clubhouse room, but don't see our faces. And we wanted to take what we discuss on Clubhouse and we wanted to bring it here, and especially to really vamp up the Facebook page. So I'm excited about that, and we're here for the first time. This is January 2022, 2023. I was going to say 2023, and we're going to have a great conversation. So please, ladies, gentlemen, take the time now to go ahead, tag and share. Let us know who's in the room. We want to hear from you. Today we're talking about how do I identify, y'all get it from me. What was what's the
It's
time?
on temperaments and how do I the real identity, right,
The
Dr.
real
J?
Your real
identity.
identity. Yep.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So we're excited about that. So I'm going to ask all of the panelists who's on my team to just really introduce themselves, and we're going to get started. And I guess Dr. J will take over because she kind of knows what she's. We'll just follow, and I'll just chime in.
So, hey everybody, I'm Dr. J. I am an author, mother to a 16-year-old son. I'm a private chef and caterer. I'm a counselor. I'm a mutt. I do some everything. But I love the Sisters of Worth, and I'm super excited to be live. Thank you for my sister who got me up out of the bed, Sylvia Grace. Amen. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping in. We're going to have some fun tonight.
Amen. Amen. So my name is Sylvia Grace. I am a certified life coach, inner healing, deliverance coach, minister, and evangelist. And more importantly, I'm a sister girl, your friend, Sisters of Worth. I'm excited. Like Apostle mentioned, we're trying something new. So I had a little technical difficulties, but we are here and ready to get started. So just mark that on your calendar. Every third Thursday of each month, Sisters of Worth will be going live via Facebook as well as YouTube. So if you're not following the Sisters of Worth Facebook page, please go ahead and do so because we don't just talk, while we are women of ministry, we talk about all different topics. And so just like the topic tonight is on temperaments. And when I tell you this is near and dear to me, because learning the temperaments has changed my life, and I'll get into that in a second. But that was a long introduction. I'm sorry, I just went straight in because I'm ready to have that conversation. But yeah, so go ahead and share the broadcast, and yeah, I'm ready to get into it.
Whenever you. Oh, am I supposed to introduce myself? I'm so used to not introducing myself. Well, everybody know who I am. I am Apostle Simone Ashley. Hello. I am the founder of Lady Ashley Ministries and Sisters of Worth. We've been here now going on 7 to 8. It's going to be on 8 years in March. And I'm so excited for the growth, excited for what God is doing, and just to be connected to some amazing women. Super excited for this topic and to just dive in deep and just hear your commentary on all of this conversation. And definitely please tag and share with somebody. Let somebody know that we're on. Share with your groups, share with your followers. We're doing great works here on Clubhouse, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of these things. So just get tell us what you think of our first episode here on the Facebook Live. Y'all let us know, okay? All right, so back to you, Dr. J.
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oops. Okay. I'm excited, y'all. This is my bread and butter. I love talking about stuff like this. So, tonight, we definitely want you to be interactive. Please like and share. But more importantly, we want to see your questions. We want to see your comments because hopefully this will bring about a lot of questions. And, we'll see where it goes from there. But tonight, we're going to talk about knowing your real identity. And you might see that and think, well, I know who I am. Right. Or a lot of times we hear people say, especially in like a heated moment, this is just who I am, deal with it. And we're so used to saying that as human beings, but how do you know that's how you really are? How do you know that that's the real you? How do you not know that that's not the person that you've like adapted to just become? Um, and so we're going to delve into that because there's two things we're going to talk about tonight. One is personality and one is temperament. And people often get the two commingled, but they're different. So to give you a little bit of background, you might see where it says Dr. J. My doctorate degree is in Christian counseling and theology. And so when I got the opportunity to study this, and then I did my thesis on the temperaments, I was like, oh my gosh, it opened up a whole new world for one thing, it helped me understand myself better. And for two, it's really helped me, especially being in ministry and in business, it's helped me know how to work better with people, understand people and their attitudes and isms and schisms and such. And I will find myself in conversations and such with people, like I'll find myself profiling them. I had it really bad when I first got out of school. I was profiling everybody. Like, ooh, you're this temperament and you're that one. And people would be like, what? So yeah, we're going to delve into it. Let's talk about um, personality versus temperament, and then I'm going to go to the ladies to see what they think before we like really dive in. So again, like I said, most people think that personality and temperament is the same thing if they've ever even heard the term temperament, because it's not something that we just go around saying. So you're born with your temperament, which we're going to get into. Personality is something that is learned behavior, and that's the difference. And that's where you hear people saying, this is just how I am. Guess what? It's not just how you are, because personality is a result of circumstance, excuse me, sorry, time, environment, upbringing, habits. That's what makes you become the person that you are now. But your temperament is inherently who you are, how you were born. And sometimes in life, we just need a reset. And so we've got to get out of that mindset of the just take it or leave it, this is me. And so hopefully as we get into these temperaments, we're live tonight. We're going to be talking about them more on our other platforms as well. We're going to go through these and kind of pick them apart. Maybe at some point, if someone wants to, we can give you the test live and find out what your temperament is. I'm down for it. But first, before we go too deep, let's talk about the difference between personality and temperament. What do you ladies think?
Whew, you said a lot. You listen, Dr. J. I just, like I said, it personally changed my life, and it really makes a difference. And I really resonated with what you said. And people say, well, this is just how I am. Because I think a lot of times people just use that as a scapegoat. And I really am looking for you to break it down between the personalities and the temperament, because they're not the same thing. And like I said before, I know I sound like a broken record, but once I realized the difference in the two, I was better able to navigate a difficult coworker, which is what made me take it anyway. See, this is why we have to have wise counsel. I would always vent to my friend who was a counselor, and she was like, take the DISC test. I was like, what is that? So when she broke it down, so I'm like, I was a little apprehensive, but I did, figure she's been in the game for 15 plus years, and it changed my life. It really did. It helped me understand my quirks and idiosyncrasies and really gave language. Okay, so that's why, so I don't want to go too deep, but yeah. So Apostle, what do you think? You're on mute.
You know what? This is going to be a topic that I long to dive in, because my temperament is it's some is short and spicy, and I really believe that these type of temperaments come from what we grew up in, what our culture is, and for some it's normal, and for some it's quite rude, and we have to learn different people's culture and where they come from before we start judging. Because I've had persons who have spoken to me very sharp, and I mean sharper than how I would speak to people. But and I was just like, my God, like, what is this? But then I realized that it's the culture. It's definitely the culture of certain people, why they are the way that they are. Hi Donna. Okay, these people are coming in. I don't know these people, but they're saying hello. Hello.
Is it a reason why it's coming up as Facebook user?
Yeah, I don't know why. So you guys have to really put in your name so that we can know why. We don't know why it's saying Facebook user. Yeah, but other than that, this is going to be a good. I'm really wanting to know where I fall in, because there's 5 temperaments that I didn't even know was necessary. I was like, you're either an angry black woman or you're not. You're one of the two. You're one of the two. So I'm ready to dive into this conversation. Hey, I don't know what's going on. Why I can't see the names, and it very well could be because I don't know. Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead, Dr. J.
So I'm going to be really honest. I profiled you when I first met you. I did.
Me?
I did. And
What
so
you mean
I
profile me? Does that mean that you went to do a background check or what?
Oh, no, like temperament. Like I can do it kind of in my sleep because I had to study it so much. So when I do that to people. Like when I first met you, I was like, yeah, this is her temperament. And then the more that I've gotten to know you, I was like, oh yeah, 100%.
Wait,
for
so
sure.
do tell. What did you flag her as?
I flagged her as a choleric.
Oh, what?
Choleric. It is.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put it in the
Yeah,
chat
give
so
me
that people can look it up. 1 second.
So usually there's two. There's the dominant, and then there's the secondary.
Mhm.
So what would be her secondary then?
I
Hi,
think
Tia.
I'm
Okay,
not
so
sure,
Tia.
but I think it might be sanguine. But we'll get into it tonight. But I think she's like. Remember on I think it was Why Did I Get Married? She's like an 80-20, like an 80 choleric and like a 20 sanguine. Now, when you first, well, we're going to get into it, but I'm going to tell y'all in case you look it up. Cholerics get a bad rap. Because when you look up choleric, you automatically think it's somebody that's like domineering or whatever. But choleric actually has a lot of great traits, but people don't know how to take cholerics because they're like strong-willed. They know what they want. I said what I said, and people don't know how to take it.
I said what I said.
That's in your regular vocabulary. So when we were talking about the person, this is fun. We can do this more than once a month. Anyway,
Yes.
when we were talking about it, going back to personality versus temperament, your personality is like the whole entire circle, right? But the basis of your personality, though, is your temperament. The rest of it, like we said earlier, it's just things that have happened in life over time, situationally, etc. And so the article that I'm reading from says, while your personality is your whole self, including your temperament, it is influenced by your temperament, which is thought to be biologically determined along with your environment and your experiences. Experiences can make you shift your personality, but your temperament is still your temperament. Now, there are times in life, though, where you can find yourself falling into a different category, a different type of temperament. But again, it's still mostly personality based because that's what adapts, that's what moves. We're born how we're born, we are who we are. And the only thing that can change that, truthfully, is God. I mean, He can change us, but it's not like today I'm going to be a choleric and then next Saturday I'm going to be a melancholic. And I don't want to throw too many terms out, but it's not something that you bounce around.
Wait. Let me stop you right there. So when you say we're born how we're born, hey Veronica, hey girl, hey. Sorry, I got excited. I recognized the name. I think you all, in order to for us to see the names, I think you have to give StreamYard permission or something.
Oh, maybe.
But hey, Sister Veronica. But when you said we're born how we are, so we heard of the term nature versus nurture. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Nature versus nurture. like I could be born a lot of times, and you know this. Let's say if I'm born from an alcoholic family, right? So who I
Hmm.
could have been, because now I'm grew up in this family where there's abuse, um there's abuse. I can't think of anything else, right? So who I could have been is different now because of what I dealt with the alcoholic,
Hmm.
parent.
Hmm.
So let's say that, yeah. So what do you think about that? Let me pause right there. Let me pause right there. So what do you think about that?
So that's definitely a fact, because our environments definitely shape who we are. When I say we're born how we're born, I mean that there are traits, characteristics, attributes, etc., that God gives us that is a part of who I inherently am. Now, those things, though, don't always come out because then that is shaped by, like you said, I could be born into an alcoholic family or an abusive family. I could go through abuse later in life. I could be sexually traumatized. There's so many things that happen that can kind of like reshape the person that I end up becoming. But if I were to, um, I guess, like scrub it completely clean, like strip everything away mentally, emotionally, spiritually, who God initially created me to be, that's the person that I am. But it takes a long time, and some people never do, right? Like some people never get to that place. They don't even know that that's possible. Like, and that's where we get the whole, this is just who I am. People don't even, I don't think, no, I know I didn't. I'll just speak for me. I didn't even know how to get to that place of who it was that God created or called me to be, and that it was different than the person that I was and I'd become. Because the person that I had become was mean. I told y'all before, I would cuss you out from A to Z. Baby, a sailor had nothing on me. I wasn't nice. I didn't like people. I didn't want to have conversations. Um, just didn't like, leave me alone. Very off-putting type. I don't want to use the word energy, but you get what I'm saying. Just very off-putting. Don't approach me. Who do you think you're talking to? Like snapping my hands and just real, because I wanted to keep people at bay because people had disappointed and had hurt me so much. And so I thought that was the person that I was. And that was the person that I was the most comfortable being because that hard shell, that hard exterior kept anybody from getting in and hurting me more. And so it was uncomfortable for me to be that person because deep down inside, even though I didn't know how to get to whoever I was supposed to be, it didn't match. You understand what I'm saying? I'd be cussing people out, going off, and it'd be like this, hey, it would be like this, like it just didn't match up. You know what I'm saying? But then it was also what helped me like keep up this facade, and then nobody bothered me, and then nobody hurt me more. And so, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying, Sylvia. When you go through things or when you're born into certain situations, there's a lot of things that you can't help, especially being a helpless child and coming up in certain environments. And so that's why studies like this are so important, because once we really get into it, you'll start to see, once we start to list out like the traits, the characteristics and such, then it's like, oh, you kind of find yourself, and it makes you want to study. It made me want to pray and say, okay, God, like start me over. Who did you call and create me to be? Because clearly this person that I've become or I've adapted to, this is not it. What do you think?
You said a lot right there. I just want to kind of pause because stick a pin in it. So when we have these different environmental factors, right? So like you said, you built up that wall. So that wasn't who you were. And I guess I'm going into the inner healing because you were wounded, right? So this is my defense mechanism. I'm going to put up this wall so nobody can penetrate, but that wasn't the real you. And what's so important. I believe inner healing and deliverance go hand in hand. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Because listen, Benita can comment with regards to that too. But when we go through things, especially anything traumatic, whether it's a loss of a loved one or the whole gamut of things, Now we're putting up this defense mechanism, or we feel like we have to fend for ourselves, or we don't know who we are. So now we adapted to a different identity. And so that's not the real you. So I love how you broke it down, because how many people are not operating like you titled it, the real identity, right? So is this the real, I think it was Eminem with the real Slim Shady stand up,
Yeah.
or is this, you understand what I'm saying? So that was
Yes.
good. That was good.
We're gonna stick a pin. Benita, you want to introduce yourself? This is one of our sisters and co-hosts, and then we're gonna go back in. Hello.
Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Hey, family! I apologize for being late. I just started school Monday, and let me tell you, 55 in school. Oh, Jesus. But from what I caught of it, it's so good. And when Dr. J was talking, I was thinking, my life experiences, my trauma, stole my true identity. And because I became this person who kept trying to defend myself as a little 9-year-old, and then that 9-year-old grew up biologically to be 50, but she still saw things from that she still saw things from that defenseless, helpless little 9-year-old. And so now, as I'm going through my healing process, my deliverance process, I'm like with Dr. J, I'm like, God, do we have a reset button? God, can you redeem the time so I can go back and redo some things? My God, my kids had a 9-year-old mother, and now they're just starting to see who God created me to be as my deliverance is taking place, as my inner healing is taking place. Now I'm finally coming into who I was created to be in the first place. And as we saw Clubhouse, and I released the mic.
Right. I was gonna say earlier when I was introducing myself, the rest is in my bio, and then I went, oh, there's no bio. So no, I get it. But yeah, no, all good stuff, both Benita and Sylvia. Apostle, did you have something to add before I jump back in?
I love what you said about just breaking it down, just that fact of being misidentified or being somebody else unknowingly. Sometimes people don't even know that they are being someone else unknowingly, and I believe that this type of topic lets us know who we are, what our identity is, so that we cannot be mislabeled. We cannot have the misidentity. We don't have to walk in or try to be someone else that we're not. And it could very well be that we're shameful of our true identity. Why we take on somebody else's personality or take on somebody else's temperament. It could be so many reasons. And it definitely could be our upbringing again, because if we had abuse in that type of our upbringing, then we may our dream, our vision might be focused on somebody who is actually doing well. You ever seen that saw movies where I can't remember what movie it was, and she was in high school. The movie was that she went to high school, but the house that she was living in was not a house that she was proud to come out of. So what she would do is that she would walk over to her friend's house, which was a bigger mansion, and it was nice, and the persons who would pick her up and drop her off there was not even her house, but they thought she lived there. I can't remember, some teenage thing, my daughter, and I said, who does that? Like, get up earlier to get dressed, to stand up and act like they're coming out of this house, and the people inside the house don't even really know who you are, but you're acting like you're coming out of this house. I mean, just the things that people would do just to display and to portray somebody else. It's something to do with the personality and their person, why they do the things that they do. But I'm glad that we're talking deep into it, because now we could put a name to it, because I believe that's an identity crisis. If you ask me, that's an identity crisis for sure.
As you were speaking, I was thinking Clubhouse.
You
How
seen
many people?
Clubhouse?
Yes, how many people when Clubhouse came on the scene? How many people that never had a platform now all of a sudden you can be who you want to be
Oh
on Clubhouse?
Lord, child.
I'll just leave that right there. Okay, I'm going back on mute.
Yeah, the doctorates that be flying out. Okay, praise the Lord.
We don't have the little Clubhouse reactions. When Sylvia said that, I went, the little explosion thing that we put up in the picture, because it's like it's a battle of the wills. It's almost easy to become somebody that you're not, but then it's a battle at the same time, because that's something that you have to keep up. And it takes a lot of energy and just a lot of everything to be somebody that you're not. And I can say it because, like I said, that was me. When God began to like strip me and I began to pray and be like, okay, who am I? And, take away all this extra stuff. I didn't like that person because it was raw. I was vulnerable. I was like, ew, who wants to have feelings? I don't want those. I'm a crybaby. I'm the first one to cry in the movie. I laugh loud. I always cry when I laugh. There were just things that I was like, ew. Like, I just want to be the hard J. Like, I didn't like it. But I can say that it has taught me to love me in a different way. It's taught me to be totally okay with who I am. And not just me being okay with who I am, but when you really get to know who you were called and created to be, like your inherent being, you're okay with how people see you. Even if they misunderstand you, you're okay because I'm me and I'm real. This is not a facade. And the whole take it or leave it movement, like that thing gets real. Like, this is me. And you like it, you love it, or you leave it. And that's kind of the attitude that I take. I turned 40 since I saw y'all last, y'all. And
But wait, as you
it
were
is
speaking,
so hard to say that. Go ahead. I'm
oh
40.
stop. You're just getting started. Um, that's why I love Sophia Ruffin's story, because to see
Mm.
the progression when she first started, people were coming at her for being loud or coming at her because she had a gap in her teeth, and her just being comfortable in her skin because there wasn't too many people like her. And what people don't realize, like, we can get caught up in what we see, that we don't preach a certain way or pray a certain way, that we're disregarded. But, when you stand in your truth and be okay with you, because God called you to be who you are, a masterpiece, a royal priesthood. It doesn't matter what other people, those that are called to you, those that are called to Jay, will follow Jay, Benita. Like, we all have unique gifting in us, and we're not for everybody. So that's why I just love her story. I always just think of that, you know what I mean? Because she could have simmered down or tried to fit in how people wanted to, because people will try to put you in a box all day, but she stuck to who she was or who she is.
Yeah, you're right. And like you said, people will try to put you in a box, and sometimes we let them. Um, but there's something that's just so powerful to being like, this is me. Um, because when you allow people to consistently, people will not only put you in a box, but people will try to mold or make you into somebody that's comfortable for them. Like, if I'm mediocre and I'm okay with having not done so many great things in my life or whatever, then you should be okay with that too. And when you try to break out of that box or that mold, then it's like, oh, well, you're doing too much. How? But people will try to keep you in that same box and such. And what I've learned is they try to keep you in the same box that they keep themselves in. I don't expect you to be any more or any more open or any more great than I am, because I'm okay being stuck. And so there's something that's so powerful about, like you just said, just standing in your truth, being who you are, doing it loudly when you have to. And, people, I believe that at some point, even if they don't say it, people respect you for that. I know that I've had people, especially the ones I used to run with back when I was doing whatever I was doing, and that was Mean Jay. I've had people come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, I so admire you. I so respect you for standing your ground. And I'm like, really? Because you made fun of me for this 20 years ago. Like, you talked about me real bad. But there is something that sometimes people will never admit. When you stand in your truth, they like it. They like it even if they won't ever tell you. And so I'm always telling people, like, when you get down to the nitty gritty of who you are, baby, stand on that thing. Stand on it, stand in it, stand up, and do it. And don't be afraid. Don't let anybody make you feel like you have to simmer down, because they're not comfortable or because they don't know who they are. That's why I like Simone, because she's a fireball all day. Spiritually and naturally, just around here, just pop, 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 fireball. I love it though. I love it. So, we have put it in the chat, the word choleric. Do you have something to say?
I was gonna say, go ahead and reset the room because there's some more people coming in.
I can do that.
So let them know what we're talking about so they can have an idea of where we're at.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sisters of Worth. I am Dr. J. These are all of my ladies and friends. But this is the Sisters of Worth, founded by yours truly, who's waving, Apostle Simone Ashley. So we are talking live today. So we want you to share. We want you to send it out. We definitely want you to invite your friends to come over here to the Sisters of Worth community. We're talking today about your real identity. Like, who are you really? Not who you've become, not who you've learned to be, but who are you inherently? Who were you born, called, and created to be? So we've already had a really, really good conversation. We're jumping into it. We're talking about something called the temperaments, and it's going to be good. So we want to hear your questions. We definitely want to see your comments. And yeah, we're going to chat. We're going to go back and forth. Please do. There's a link at the top. Please give StreamYard permission. So that way, when you are posting comments and such, we know who you are. Otherwise, you'll come up kind of generic as a fake Facebook guest. So please, please do that so we know who you are. We can acknowledge you and we can put your questions and such up so we can have a good conversation. But yes, we are here tonight live every third Thursday of the month and every single Saturday on Clubhouse at 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, 12 Central, and 1 Eastern Standard Time. So you've got several opportunities to join us. We can't wait to hear from you tonight. And let's see. I'm just looking at the comments, y'all, see if I missed anything. Veronica said, yes, Lord, I need a reset button. Listen.
Wait a minute. So I'm curious, those that are tuning in, how many have actually taken the temperament? How many actually know what their temperament is? Just, I was gonna say, raise your hand. Just
That's a good question.
Just put a hand waving signal in the chat. I'm just curious. And I started to say too, like, all of us should have taken it so we could kind of discuss. But Dr. J, I think that you're spot on with what you said for Apostle. Now, what would you give Benita? Look, Dr. J profile.
Right.
In progress.
The question was, someone asked what the question is.
I have to. Oh, I put it in the chat for you too, and it's up on the screen. So Sylvia was asking if you know what your temperament is and who has taken the test. It is a rather, it's a long, I remember when I was in school and we had to give it, I was like, who wants to take? It was like 200 questions. I think it's now been trimmed down to like 50 multiple choice. But I have to think about Benita. I don't know, because I have what I think it is, but I'm still getting to know her, so I'm not sure. If I had to base it off who she said she has been in the past, I would immediately say choleric, but I don't think that I don't think that that's her. Like, not 100%. I wouldn't think that would be her, like, her dominant one at all. So I don't know. I have to think about that. I'm a mutt, y'all. I fall in like 3 categories. I'm all over the place. And even my 2 dominant ones, as many times as I've taken the test, my 2 dominant ones are like tied. And then my third one is only like a couple points under that one. So I literally fall across all 3. So I think when the Lord was making me, he was just throwing in some extra spices and seasonings and stuff. Like, yeah, we're going to put a dash to this and a dash to that. And maybe that's how I became a chef. I don't know. So, temperament, personality. Your temperament is how you behave, and it's how you like move throughout the world. But then you've got pieces of your personality. And what are those? That's your mood, that's your emotional response, how you choose to respond or react to things. Your demeanor. If you've ever heard people say, oh, she has a nice disposition or she has a bad disposition, how you carry yourself without saying anything. What's your energy level? Temperament has a lot to do with that. There are some people who are just naturally like vibrant and spunky and energetic, and there's some people who are just like chill. Like, you're not going to get them too excited. They just take things as they come. So it's that. Curiosity also plays a part in it. How you think about things. Do you want to analyze them and pick them apart, or do you just kind of take things as they are at face value? How well you adapt. Children are super moldable, and children are very easy to adapt to things. And so that can be very telling. But even as adults, how easy is it for you to adapt to a situation? Or are you going to be the type to kind of always fight against the grain? There's always one person that you like, they always have to be difficult. Like, they just can't ever go. So there's all these things that make up. But guess what? Those things are personality traits. Those are not temperamental. And again, that's the difference. So unlike your personality, temperaments are not influenced by your experience. That's your personality. And that's what we've been talking about. So I'm going to put it in the chat again so that when I jump into it, nobody's lost. So I'm putting the word choleric in the chat again, because that's the one that we want to get into tonight. And so I'm just going to read, but I'm going to keep looking back at the screen. If you guys have something to say, just go ahead and unmute. So the choleric temperament, and before I get into this, I want you to hear the whole thing, okay? Because again, this is the one that people tend to think is like, oh my gosh, that's the worst one. Here comes the choleric. Like, watch how you talk about me, because that's one of my dominant traits, okay? So this temperament is identified as the most powerful of the temperaments. It can also be known as the most destructive. It is not unreasonable to state that the world's greatest feared dictators were perhaps some of the choleric temperaments. However, when this person truly comes to know Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior and uses these strengths for the glory of God, they make some of the greatest leaders known on earth or in Christianity. Now, the person who wrote this article says, in their opinion, the Apostle Paul was a choleric. Why? Because prior to his conversion on the Damascus Road, he used his temperamental strengths to advance the cause of Judaism, self-interest, and, listen, Paul was a terror on wheels, right? But after his salvation, he became the apostle to the Gentiles. And so one thing that I want to put a pin right there is, yes, your temperament, you are who you are, but it also matters who you're submitted to, because we can't serve two masters, right? But depending on which side of the fence you fall on, that determines how you move within that temperament. That determines how it affects people and what you do with your life. What do you ladies think about that?
That's good. When you were reading, I thought about Apostle Paul. I was like, oh, that sounds like Apostle Paul. And then when you said that, I was like, oh my God, that's what I was thinking about. But I can also see why you said, oh, listen to that Benita. I can see that was her as well. And so, now I look back and say, God, like, why wasn't I convicted about certain things? But I felt so justified in the way I behaved because I felt like I had to protect myself, not even knowing that's what I was doing. But I love the point of how Paul could have been coined as a choleric person, but then, like you said, once they come to God, how he became a great leader through God. I'm like, thank you, God. There is hope for me. And I love it how it makes me think about Romans 8:28, and it says, and we know all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord, who are called according to his purpose. Because God took that same thing he had, how dogmatic he was, and flipped it for the kingdom.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah, because like I said, it matters who your master is. Um, and who would have ever thought, And this is why I said you don't want to judge a person, even in knowing that temperament. And that's why I kind of reworded how they wrote it, because they initially called the choleric destructive. But sometimes, especially on the spiritual side, somebody's got to be the strong person to tear some stuff down, especially when it's some stuff that's out of order, or, something that God is calling you to tear down to build something up. You need those type of people. So I didn't want people to hear destructive and immediately think, oh my gosh, like a choleric is a bad person. No, you need some people that are going to like shake some stuff up, make a stand, be the standard, and be like, follow me. But that's not everybody, and that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
What did you label me as at one point? Was it the choleric?
Choleric. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I can relate to that. I definitely could relate to the description. And you said something comparing to Apostle Paul. Absolutely. I really believe he was one that was a no nonsense type of person, and you know it turned from where he was to still being a no nonsense person for Christ. The personality never shifted. The master did. You understand what I'm saying? That's what shifted. It wasn't so much his personality, because he was brutal, not serving the master, killing off Christians, to now being the most radicant Christian, really drawing the people to Christ, and that was that. And I feel like that's what my personality kind of stands in, and I'm constantly, always in the past, was always the one saying sorry and apologizing because somebody was offended, and somebody was hurt, and and I always had to say, I'm so sorry. And the truth is that when I did say sorry, I really wasn't sorry, but to make peace and to shut you up, yeah, I was going to say sorry just so that you can kind of just let it go, because and then not after that, I just began as growing in the into where I am now in maturity in Christ, and not even my own self and my own identity. I said I was going to stop apologizing for who I really am, because I haven't offended anybody. I haven't offended you. If anything, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the devil that's lying up in you, trying to use you. That's what I'm trying to help you. That's where I'm at with the whole thing. But I find that our personalities do a lot of apologizing, and that kind of really it causes our light, or our fire, I should say, to be dimmed down, because we are now people pleasing. We are now trying to please the person and trying to apologize for our vigorous, our outgoing, or whatever it is that you want to call us, very blunt, or however you call our personality. Now we got to dim our lights to please you. So, yeah, okay, I'm done.
No, that was good. And that's a battle that cholerics often have, is like, I don't need to prove myself, but let me prove myself, because people will often misunderstand. So before I get into more about the choleric, I'm going to read you some of the traits from all of the temperaments just so you kind of see where they lie. So there was originally 4 temperaments, but what psychologists and such found over time is that there were some people that didn't necessarily fall into any of the categories. They were a little different. And so some years ago, they came up with a 5th temperament. So tonight we're talking about choleric. That's the person who's quick to react. The melancholy, or they're actually natural born leaders and they're quick to react. The next one is the melancholic. I'll put it in chat in a second, y'all. Melancholic. This person is more analytical. They're quiet. They're nostalgic, always thinking about what was and what could be. Just kind of very introverted. The phlegmatic is another introvert, but this person is super apathetic. They are relaxed. They move very slow. Nothing in life comes to a rush. It's okay. They're almost too calm. And if you're a choleric, see, look at your face. If you're a choleric, you're like, I do not have time for that. Let's go. Like, the choleric would be the person pulling the phlegmatic on a rope. Like, come on, sis. We got to go. Then you have the sanguine. And that person is known to be warm, optimistic, social butterfly type. And the last one is the one that I told you they added, and that's called a supine. And again, I'm going to put these in the chat. Supines are known to have like a desire to serve. They're a lover of people. They have a very gentle spirit, but they are also known to, they're indirect people. They're not super good with being upfront. They internalize a lot. They expect people to read their minds, and they often go into these feelings of like a nobody understands me. So, even just based off those very basic descriptions, you may have already found yourself and be like, oh, I need to find out who that is. So just give me a real quick second. I'm going to put these in the chat so that you have something to look at.
While you do that, I also wanted to mention, so they say not too familiar with the 5th one that was added, but so for the choleric and the sanguine fall under extrovert, and the phlegmatic and the melancholy fall under introverted.
Yes. And the supine is right down the middle. It's kind of like the best of both. If you like it's just smack down the middle. They don't kind of fall into either of those categories. Yes, you're absolutely right. And so that's why I'm like a mixture. And I'm like, how did this happen? I can be an extrovert, like right now I'm being extroverted and I'm talking. But y'all, this is going to take all the energy I have for the day. I'm just keeping it real with you. This is it. Don't call me. Don't text me. The only thing that I want to see after this is chicken wings and a salad. I can be very extroverted and talk and do all of that. But then I have to decompress. I have to let stuff, I have to process it. I have to chew it. I have to digest it, break it down. It's crazy. So I definitely fall. That's why I say I'm a mutt. I fall like somewhere in the middle of some of everything. Looks like we lost Simone, but she'll be back. So I'm going to dive. There we go. So I'm going to just dive right back in. So
Dr.
it's
J,
important. Yes.
right quick, can you spell a melancholy?
Yes, ma'am. I put them in the chat on Facebook. Do you see them? Let me know if you can see them. You see it?
Yes, thank you. I got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
cool. Okay, you're welcome. So it's important to understand that your temperament cannot be accurately assessed just by observation. And that's a mistake that some people made because outer appearance, right? And it's easy sometimes to coin or to pin a person by what you see, but temperament is really getting to know the person. It is conversation. It's watching their mannerisms. It's the disposition that we talked about. It's listening. It's listening to what's not said. There's a lot that makes up the temperament that you can't just see because a person dresses well or drives a certain thing or talks or preaches a certain way. It's a little more deeper than that. So the choleric that we're talking about tonight, they are very much tough-willed. When they have made up their minds, they rarely ever change it, even if they are wrong. Cholerics will seldom listen to the advice of anyone else, and they want to have total control over themselves and anyone around them. Cholerics are always trying to make everyone better. They're trying to make everyone reach the standard. They are of the opinion or the belief that they know what is best and what is known as acceptable behavior. Some cholerics may be known to have an anger problem. Cholerics have a tendency to express emotion, but they are guarded when it comes to expressing emotions such as tenderness. I don't want to use that word. Let me think of what else I'm going to use. I don't know. I'll skip it because I don't like what they said. Anyway, when other people express these emotions, they are sometimes hard to receive. They will sometimes think that these emotions are good, but they will also sometimes deem them as unnecessary or useless. Like they don't always like feeling super mushy. Okay. So cholerics also have a tendency, I'm looking at the top left, to overwork themselves. They are prone to burnout. Amen. Let me focus on the paper that I'm looking at. When carrying out various tasks to accomplish goals, they are capable of undertaking any behavior necessary to get it done. This is the person, if you want to get something done, that you rely on.
Can I,
Unlike the
can I
yes.
also add to that? I know they
Mm-hmm.
said with cholerics, like this is why we need the secondary, because if cholerics are not careful, they're a more task driven as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to people driven. So they're just like get the job done, but meanwhile not considering people's feelings or not considering people's strengths or weaknesses. It's just get the job done. So it can almost come off as while they're great leaders, but they have to have that mix of people skills as well
Mm-hmm.
because they're just focused on the task, what needs to get done. This is a deadline, just do it. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because cholerics are like, let's get this done. There's stuff to be done. We don't have time to have a conversation. I love you too. Amen. But let's get this done. Like we can talk about how much I love you after we get it done. Yes,
And
ma'am.
please do not question my actions. Do not do that because I will cut you. I will snipe you. Don't do it. Especially if you think you have the better option, please don't question what I do because I know I'm right. I know I'm
Ooh.
right.
And the accent came out. I know
I know
that's
I'm
right.
right. May Moore. Hi, May Moore. But this is good. I plead the fifth on some of them.
Yeah. Benita, you had something to add?
Listen, I was like, oh God, I'm ashamed, I'm ashamed, I'm ashamed. Thank you for deliverance. But I was going to ask you a question. Do you think that that's rooted in rejection? Because some of that stuff you were saying, I definitely know. I already had it before I went in the military, and the military added a whole nother level to it. But I couldn't receive feedback, but I wanted to give feedback because feedback to me made me feel like I was incompetent.
It could be, but your temperament wouldn't be coming from being rooted in rejection, but how you choose to act it out or how you adapt in life to situations, that can be your temperament. And on top of that, your personality, your defense mechanisms, and such. And so that will cause you to act a certain type of way too. And then once you get cleaned up and chiseled down, and God just kind of makes you, molds you over, you may still find yourself falling in the choleric temperament, but now you know how to act and how to, better present yourself and such without coming off as being like mean or irritable or indirect or whatever it is that you want to call it. So that's where the personality and the temperament, they kind of get jumbled up and mixed up, because yeah, that could be your base. The choleric could be your baseline, but then you've adapted to so many things in life. And we were talking about that right before you got on, that I definitely have some choleric pieces to me. I'm a mutt. I fall in, that's one of my dominant ones. And so I was very mean, and I would just like cuss people out and didn't want to be approached, and was very snappy and didn't like people. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me any questions. And I wasn't thinking anything about the Lord. Okay. I wasn't even, yeah, that was nowhere in the equation. But when I got down to the nitty gritty of who I really am, I still found myself falling partially into this category, but without all the extras that life had put on it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, the choleric, unlike the melancholy, who is capable of seeing the pitfalls of a project before taking actions, cholerics don't see the pitfalls all the time because they are so busy forging ahead. They are looking at the end cost, and the end is what justifies the movement. Let's just get this done. And so sometimes, and Sylvia, that leads into what you said too. This is where the balance comes in. And this is why you have the dominant and then you have your secondary, because without that balance, you can just kind of run yourself right off the cliff. Not literally, y'all. Don't do that. Call me. But you can just run yourself right off because you're so busy like trying to get it done, and you're so task driven, you're so focused, and you don't see anything but the end result. You need that balance, or the team or the accountability or whatever it is that kind of brings you like back down. Like, it's okay. We're going to get there. We're going to get it done. But yeah, because I am like that one. And this is how I know that I fall into choleric, is because I can be so task driven. And I'm a perfectionist to a fault. And so because of that, I don't delegate well. I will burn myself out and take it all on and do it myself before I trust somebody else to do it and mess it up. And then I still have to do it myself anyway. And so I used to take on that mentality of like, just forget it. They're going to mess it up anyway. So I'm not even going to ask them to do it. They're going to disappoint me anyway. So I'll just do it myself. And what did that lead to was burnout and sickness and stress and some more stuff. Because cholerics are not always, it takes a lot to gain a choleric's trust too. Now that, Bonita, could be because of past rejection or disappointment, but it takes a lot to gain their trust. They're not so quick to be like, oh, here, come and do this, because they're so used to doing everything for themselves. So the choleric, can seem like the needs of others don't matter. But in fact, what it is they are perfectionists, and even their own flaws sometimes can be seen as flawless. When they are wrong, they are not always easy to accept it, being that it is their way that is correct, it is their way that matters. However, when the choleric is brought under the authority of Jesus Christ, greatness can be accomplished for the kingdom of God, and a lot of the traits that are off-putting becomes the thing that makes them the greatest soldiers and organizers.
I just want to point out, Akila said yes. So Akila, so you're relating? Are you a choleric?
Oh, let's see. Yeah, she's like, I found
Y'all,
myself.
we want to know how many of you all see yourself in this category. So by her saying yes, I think she's either pretty much knows somebody that's a cleric, or she's
I
speaking
see
for
it.
herself.
Hi, Magdalena. Hi, May. Yes, Akila, let us know if you're finding yourself. And it's been a while since we've reset. So I am Dr. J. We're talking tonight about our real identity. We are diving into what is called the temperaments. It is a part of psychology, and we all here, all of your co-hosts and such, we all delve in some way into either psychology, counseling, inner healing, deliverance. And so this is really like the root of it. This is the foundation of it. So we're diving into this tonight. We're starting with one temperament, but you definitely want to you want to share. We want you to ask your questions. We want you to comment, and we want you to keep joining us on this platform and our other platforms so that we can dive into this and we can get to know who we are Not who we become, but who we are. So hopefully you're enjoying this chat so far. Um, so yeah, the choleric, that's an interesting person, right, y'all? Like that starts it off. That's the fire starter. The choleric is the pusher. I've been pushed
She's
a couple
lovely.
times.
She's very lovely. There has to be a good side to all of this. She's lovely.
She is.
She's a lovely go-getter person. But everything you said, woman of God, it's so true. And now I can kind of place myself. But I have to say that in my defense, that this stemmed from the women I grew up with, what culture I came from, and what was in my family. My family, my mother's side of the family especially, are very strong headed women. We're very strong. My mother was always the one that knew what she wanted. She got what she wanted, and it didn't take a man to get her to get what she needed. Though she was married, she just had her own independency in a sense. And I come from a family of women that are very outspoken. They'll tell you, you're fat, you gain weight, and you just got to sit there and take it like, oh, that really pokes me. But that's their expression to say, I see you. Like, I see you, and sometimes it's been harsh. And sometimes I just think it's just the culture of what she comes from. And then again, also too, growing up in New York, growing up in Brooklyn, and just always have to defend yourself. Because if you even shown a sign of weakness, I wasn't trying to be nobody's punk in nobody's school, not in junior high, none of that. I was one that, I really was ready to throw blows, because first of all, you're not gonna come for me, and you're not gonna come for my sister. My sister was right behind me. So whatever school I hit first, the only time we really split was when we were in high school. But daycare all the way up to junior high school, I felt like I was not only defending for me, but I was defending for her, and she had a big sister who was a senior while she was a freshman. I was coming for all of them freshmen. So it's just a matter of personality. And again, I'm learning. I think I've learned to tame my conversations a lot. And I think being married has helped me in that era. Because when I first got married, again, I had the mentality that I'm not going to let no man control me. I'm not going to do this, because of what I saw in the house. And I'll never forget my second marriage, because the first one didn't work. But the second one now, my husband was like, listen, I'm not your ex-husband. Like, he shook me. Like, he really shook me. I'm not your ex-husband. Watch how you talk to me. He really was. I was just like, okay, Daddy, okay. I just came all the way down, only because, somebody finally can take control and grip over what I've been professing out, right? But I remember my mom said to me, and this stuck with me. She said, the reason why I took over the bills and I took over the house and I did what I had to do was because I didn't want us to be out on the street. Remember, your father was on disability. Remember, he could not go to work. Remember that he wasn't able to foot the bills anymore. It was me. So a lot of that dominancy, or what you call me a superhero, I didn't want to be all of that. I was forced into that. You understand what I'm saying? Here you have a husband that can take care of you, love you. Do not kill his ego. Do not try to wear the pants. Don't try to disrespect him. Don't try to be like the man in public. Do not embarrass him. Be that wife. And I had to learn. So a lot of my of stuff that I've learned that I was taught. Just deeming my mom as a hero because she did take care of us. She did do what she had to do, but she also let me know that that was something that she was forced into. She really didn't want to do it, and so I had to learn how to still be still be me, but still have I'm gonna say feelings for persons. You know, if I don't have to say it, I'm not going to say it. I'll pull you aside and I'm going to say what I have to say, but I'm not going to always be the one to have the last say. I'm not going to be the one to bully the conversation or chop the conversation. I had to learn. And I think living with him has caused me to shift my personality, and then also being in ministry to shift my personality as well, because when you're dealing with certain people in leadership, it's your response that gets you through the door. It's your response in grace and mercy that keeps you connected to certain people, even if they show their tail. You understand what I'm saying? You still gotta be, because trust me, I want it. I don't care your name. I don't care what your name is, your title, who your mama, who your papa is. I'll be the one to tell you where to go and how to get there. I would tell you, but then there were times when the Lord would say, no, you ain't Peter today. You're not cussing nobody out, all right? You're going to stay calm and you're going to take this blow and they're going to appreciate you, or they'll turn around and come and apologize. And I've had several apologies because of me just keeping my mouth shut. So that's what I had to say. That was good stuff. All right, and I just want y'all to know I do have the Sisters of Worth Lounge open. So we do have one person in here. Hi, Chiquita. She's listening as well. So I'm sharing on my Clubhouse Lounge as well.
Hi, Chiquita. Thank you for listening.
Hey, Chiquita. Hey.
So what Apostle Simone was saying is so true. So it seems like, or it sounds like, your baseline, you're still a choleric, but like we talked about, personality, situations, what you've seen in life and such, it like expounded upon that. But then when we come to Christ and we start to get older and learn and move and grow, you're able to channel those things that you were taught and use it for a greater good. So it's all good. And what you said at the end leads into my next point, because when it comes to cholerics, one of the areas that they don't always speak about is the need for love and affection and for deep personal relationships. Cholerics don't like surface relationships. And that's me, y'all. Like, sorry, Magdalena said my dad was a major in the military and highly intelligent. Oh, but she broke him down in different ways. I have to see the whole thing. But yeah, cholerics have like a need for deep personal relationships, but it's got to be meaningful. It's got to be something. You can't be surface or basic and try to be in a relationship with a choleric. It won't work, because they're so strong-willed that even if they don't mean to, you may feel like you're being stomped over. Cholerics have a way of, because they're like perfectionists and they're so busy moving and going, I know I've had people tell me they can make you feel like you're disposable, like I don't need you. And that's not the case. It's not that they don't need or don't want people around. It's just that, as Sylvia said earlier, we can be so task driven. We're trying to get something done that we're not necessarily concerned about that in that moment. We want you to be like us. Let's get this done. And then at the end result of it, we can talk about how much you love me and how much you need me and woo, 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 and kiss me and hug me. But right now, there's some stuff that we have to get done. So they are very, very task driven. So facts to remember, there are 3 areas about this temperament. I just mentioned affection. That's the need for love and affection and for deep personal relationships. The next one is inclusion, social interaction, and intellectual energy. Cholerics like to have conversations with depth, nothing basic. I already know the sky is blue, so how about we just not talk about that? We like to talk about things with depth, with meat, things that can be like taken apart. And the last one is control. They are great with their decision-making abilities. They have a great willingness to take on responsibility, and they have a huge need for independence. So let's talk about, and we're about done with this, y'all. Let's talk about the strengths of the choleric. Inclusive strengths of a choleric. They are open, friendly, confident, outgoing, very optimistic, tough-minded, task-oriented, perfectionist with a good mind for envisioning new projects, and they are extroverts of a highly selective nature. Not trying to be all in your business, but that whole list was you, Simone. Amen. Okay, so weaknesses of the choleric. This is not everybody, y'all, so don't coin them. But weaknesses of the choleric. They can be hot-tempered. They can be coined as people users. They can be known to have the mindset that although everyone uses people to some degree, the choleric carries the red flag. Why? Because they think of themselves as innovators. They think of themselves as people motivators, and they become easily frustrated in their attempts to motivate people. So, right, it's like the weakness isn't bad. It's like I'm acting like this for a reason. Cholerics want to see everybody around them do better and do well. And when people don't, they can harbor or get angry. But it's because they want people to come up. Like, come on, y'all, let's do this. Okay. So, control strengths of the choleric. Again, they are tough-willed. They are very good leaders. They're capable of making intuitive decisions, capable of taking on multiple responsibilities. Things that they do are usually done in an efficient and well-disciplined, here you go, Benita, military fashion. They possess the will to carry through to completion. Some people, y'all, don't know how to take cholerics because it can come off kind of strong. It can come off kind of off-putting. So you have to really get to know the person. Control weaknesses of the choleric. Again, they are capable of undertaking any behavior to keep control. Wow, I didn't see this one before. It says they associate with weak people and then resent their weaknesses. Ouch. To them, the end justifies the means. They are highly susceptible to burnout. So I think when we think about weak people, it's not because they think like somebody's not capable, but again, it's because they're so busy moving and shaking, let's go, let's go, let's go, that they don't have time for the people who are like moving slow, or we can just do it next week, or as long as it's done by December. Cholerics are like, no, I have the idea now. It needs to get done right now. We don't have till tomorrow. We don't have till 2 weeks. Let's get it done now. Let's make it excellent. And one thing about cholerics is before one idea is complete, like it's like God is giving you 4 more. So you're like, you're going to do this, but then we're going to do this, 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 this. And then when you're dealing with people who are like, hold on, let's do one, they'll be like, you know what? I don't even need you on this project anymore. I'll do it myself. And then, so sis, who's going to help you with the other 4 projects that you have? But they are just super like, let's get it done. So, affection strengths of the choleric. They are very open, optimistic, outgoing. They express a great deal of love and affection, and they only approach select people for deep relationships. They do not let any and everyone into their lives. Affection weaknesses of the choleric. Although they don't appear this way, people often see them as self-centered. They have indirect behaviors, and they sometimes reject the love and affection of people, or they will love and accept affection only according to their terms. And they watch out for people who reject or manipulate them for love and affection. And lastly, it says, what a wonderful temperament the choleric is when they are submissive to the Lord Jesus Christ. As it is with any temperament, living in their strengths and not in their weaknesses, all things are possible with God. And what a blessing the choleric can be, living in their strengths for the kingdom of God. And the scripture reference I'm going to put in the chat is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 32 through 34. So that is it for the choleric. What do y'all think?
Ooh.
It's a lot.
They need to do that. I mean, this needs to be, taught at such a young age. So you can understand it. I see myself in a couple of them, choleric more, but I love the, when I hear the weaknesses, I'm like, oh, ouch, oh, but then there's hope, then there is a positive. And I love when you say once they give their life to Jesus, it can really work out good. And I was thinking when you were talking, I'm going through a situation right now with a friend, and to me, she is just so self-sabotaging. So I'm always trying to encourage her. I'm always trying to get her to see positive. I'm always trying to pull her up, and I want her to grow with me. And it's just like she's like, she told me when people don't agree with you, you get mad at them, and I'm not mad at her but I'm mad that she doesn't see herself, that she doesn't want to grow. So, when you was talking about that, I was like, oh, that's the issue. I think it's more of me than her, because if she's not ready to grow, I can't force her. But that I can see that choleric part to her, like, look, you got to grow now. So, yeah, thank you. This is awesome.
Isn't it? I love this. I could talk about the temperaments all day. Baby, when I had to write those 30,000 words, I better be able to talk about it all day. This is what my thesis was on. But no, cholerics do. They want everybody to do well. They want everybody to be well. They don't see any reason for anyone to be lazy. They can be sick and they're still getting stuff done. We're not going to sit down. We're not going to stop. Everybody should be saved. Everybody should be working. Everybody should be successful. Like, they are just very tunnel vision. And people that are not cholerics will see that as abusive or unreasonable or controlling, when in fact they just want everybody to be good and to do good. It's definitely a characteristic of, I just want everybody to be okay. But people don't often see it that way. So a choleric, the reason I chose it as the first one is because it is most often, it's the most misunderstood. People don't know how to take a choleric. And as Apostle Simone has said, and you've even said in the past when we've, done other shows and stuff, it's like people will coin you one way, and because they don't know how to take you, you're often the one that's left to like apologize, try to make it right, because people don't know how to take you. They will automatically coin you as like mean or aggressive or whatever, and that's not you. Cholerics are actually the biggest lovers, but we're also fighters, but not like a physical fight, just like a come on everybody, let's get better, let's get this stuff done. And people don't often know how to take that. So what do y'all think? Which one should we dive into next when we do our next room?
Ooh,
Did you hear about yourself tonight?
I did, and I'm gonna say that this is very informative, to the point where I kind of know where I stand, where I do love hard. I'm very a person who want to see everybody win. I'm a person that I see the best in you. And if you don't see the best in you, then I ain't got time for you. I mean, I will not waste my time. I would not. I was like, what? Where did I get this little just snap personality from? But again, it's always good to learn new things. It is always great to learn new things. And this is definitely a therapeutic therapeutic moments. I felt like I was talking to a therapist tonight, and that she was just telling me, okay, well, what are you going to do next? It's like I'm waiting for the question, Mrs. Ashley, what are we going to do? And I'm getting home. I need homework. I need homework. I don't know if anybody in the room felt like they needed homework or to get done, but this is good. I don't know if I want to hear about the melancholic because I'm going to be frustrated with that whole topic. Yeah, but I'm willing to hear every topic. Period. I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, that one it'll definitely it's gonna frustrate you. Yes, Benita, you had something to add. You're muted. There you go.
Doctor, okay. Every time I turn, somebody called me all day. But I was thinking definitely the how do you pronounce it? The melancholic. I definitely would be interested in that one as well because I'm like, all right, okay, God. I was just studying Isaiah 58, and it was talking about like the people were complaining to God, they've been fasting, and why hasn't God answered their fast? And he was saying, because you fast, but you do it in debate, you do it in strife. That, and God was like telling them why you don't see nothing moving. And so I was thinking that as you was talking, I was like, okay, this is good to expose what's going on. So God, is there anything in me that I need to repent of? I need to begin to change my ways of, because I don't want none of these. How you say? If I say the wrong thing, choleric,
Melancholic? Oh, choleric.
choleric, monocholic. Yeah, I don't want none of them to be what's holding my prayers up. So I'm like, I think this is just so good to shine the light on areas that's something that we weren't aware of. So now I have the information and I can begin to work on myself. I thoroughly enjoyed you, Dr. J, as always.
Thank you. I had fun. I had fun. Um, there are tons of tests out there, y'all. I'm just gonna put one of them in the chat, but you can literally just go to Google, and you can just type in like what's my temperament, and different quizzes will come up. It does take a while. Like I said, the one that we did in school was about 200 questions. I think now they have some that are like 50. What you can look for when you're taking a test, it literally just asks you questions. It'll say something like, um, how do you react? Quickly, angrily, slowly? It'll ask you different things. It'll have you kind of pick character traits. And then at the end, it will tally them up. And then your highest numbers will fall in your dominant and your secondary temperaments. Um, but it will definitely make you think. And halfway through, you'll probably get tired of answering those questions because it'll ask you some of the same traits for different questions. But it is definitely eye opening. So I do recommend that you all take it. Um, Before I ask for any other comments, we will be live on this platform every third Thursday of the month. Um, Very true, Akila. I was just reading Akila's comment. Absolutely. So we will be live on this platform every third Thursday of the month. We'll post it in the group so you ladies will know that we'll be here. So we definitely want you to, of course, stay apart and invite your friends to join the Sisters of Worth group. Also, we are live every Saturday on Clubhouse at 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, 12 Central, and 1 Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to be continuing this conversation on the temperaments. We've got a lot of good stuff coming, a lot of good topics coming. But we always do. It always goes up at the Sisters of Worth. So we definitely want you to join us on every platform so you are in the know and so you can join us when we do our live in-person events. You don't want to miss anything. So back to you, ladies. Any closing remarks or any questions or anything? Simone said I'm mixed too. I don't know what your secondary is, but I think I know it. But yeah. I think I know it. You're like an 80-20 though. Apostle Simone is like an 80-20.
Like I want to be mixed with something. I feel like y'all done stabbed me tonight. Okay, I want to be mixed with something.
I want to be mixed with something. I'm not 100% sure because I feel like you might fall in the category of a sanguine a little bit, but I have to, yeah, because you're super direct, blunt, let's get it done, but then you really love people and you love to serve.
I do have
and
a heart.
yeah, and so I think you kind of fall into that because those sanguines are like lovers, but cholerics are like I love you, but I might or might not tell you. Akila, I put a link
It's
in
right
the
here.
chat.
I
Okay,
did
good.
see it. It's on the screen.
So yeah, you can go there
Yeah, I'll
and
put the
then
link
you
up.
take the test.
Hey,
But yeah,
Sylvia!
it's probably definitely
Oh
a
my God,
mix.
Sylvia Reed, ambassador.
Sylvia,
So-
where do you think you fall?
You tell me.
She's
I
mixed.
would say, if I had to guess at it, I would say supine and a little bit of sanguine.
I need to retake it. When I took it, whew, it might have been 4 years ago. I was phlegmatic melancholy. Yeah, so I want to take it with the new sanguine because I just looked at some of the characteristics. So I want to retake it and kind of see where I fall because honestly I took it 4 years ago. But this was so great. So I didn't get a chance to share my testimony. It was just kind of like brief. Like I did kind of go into it, but this helped me tremendously because I had a coworker that we had to work closely together, and we were like oil and water, to the point where it was just like, you know what, just give me like either assign it to me, I'll take care of it, like 'cause we would rotate tasks or whatever. But I was just like, she was stuck in her ways because she's been there twice as longer than I have, so it was kind of like she was a bully. And I was gonna let you know, no, you might have done it that way for the past 20 years, but there's always a new way of doing it. Anyway, I explained earlier how I had a friend that's a counselor, and she suggested I take the DISC test. So once I took my, had the assessment, and she went into detail, and I was like, oh, it makes sense because, like, she knows she comes in, we're all loud and stuff, where I start work at 6:30 while I'm at work physically. All that extra talk, like, leave me alone, let me just stay, because I get the most done in the morning, so I want to be left alone. Where she comes in an hour later and be loud, how was your weekend? And I'm like, good. Like, even though one word answer, so fine. She said, you're not a morning person, are you? And I said, no, I'm not. And I'm hoping she would get the hint, like, I'm not. So why do you continue to talk to me? I don't mind conversation, but I'm focused. Like, I'm focused. Just so it changed my life because she fell in this sanguine. I forgot what was her dominant, either was sanguine or chloric. But it made sense because she's loud and boisterous, where I'm an observer, like, leave me alone because I'm not wasting my energy. This is too much energy. Like, I need to, you're killing me right now, so, but it really, so it helped me to navigate her personality and yield when I need to yield, and also tell her, like, listen, we have to work together. So you fall back some, because we both can't be chiefs. You know what I mean? And sometimes when people, and very territorial, and when I thought about it, she was more so threatened because this new person's coming on with ideas, and now it wasn't just, this is what I do, and it's my way or no way. She had to learn to share, which is so crazy, but it really gave language into why she is the way she is. And again, so we would find that middle ground, because you're always going to have people you don't particularly care for, even in ministry. And you got to find some way to work together. So this was great, and it's also something that I'm passionate. But like I said, it was 4 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago. So I think it's time to take again, because I want to see if that new one, if I fall under that. So yeah, just mixed with. Wait, what did she say? That's good enough. That was funny. New York could do it to you, boy. Listen.
I'm muted and I'm over here cracking up. I was laughing as I was reading her comment because I was like, I don't know where Sylvia falls, because she's got a little firecracker to her too. And like phlegmatics and melancholies, they're real, take life as it comes, but you're always going, moving, shaking, doing something. So I'm like, I don't know where Sylvia falls. I'm not sure.
I think the phlegmatics said they're observer. Like I'm in the cut.
They are.
I'm in the cut,
mm-hmm.
and I'm watching. I may not say much, but trust and believe. I know what's, you know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
yeah, but
don't miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. So we're going to cover the melancholic on Saturday then, I guess, right? Look at Simone's face. We can see you. This is the clubhouse. Look at her face.
I'm trying to like hide my face, like, oh God. I really want to.
But you know what? With the melancholy, they make good analysts, I think they said, like very analytical.
Yeah.
And that's that part of it. And then too. And very cutting stuff, overthinking. Yeah.
So Sylvia is taking it
as soon as it is.
As it ends. I want to ask the people in Clubhouse, because we're on the lounge. I actually was in the wrong room all this time. Can you believe that? I was in GPC. But anyway, I'm in the right room. I'm in the right room now. Ladies, hi Lakeisha and Chiquita and Alicia. We were talking about the 5 temperaments, how to identify the real you. And we have just gone through choleric. Choleric.
I'm gonna go to the lounge and put it in real quick.
See, she's in the lounge, y'all. All you gotta do is like, yeah. So if you want to come up to the stage to kind of give us what your thoughts were, if everybody had a good takeaway, what's your takeaway on this? If you want to come up those on Clubhouse to see what, unmute your mic, and we'll let everybody on Facebook and YouTube hear what you're saying. So come on up. Hi.
And don't forget, though, I just want to add, when you take it, make sure you come back and let us know where you fell in.
Okay. Good evening, Nanik. I think he's from India. Nanik Dasani.
Hello.
So let us know where you fall, and hey, do you guys like this? I definitely want to hear feedback on us coming live where you can see our faces and that we can talk. What do you think about this? The next one, we'll definitely schedule it so that you'll know ahead of time when we will be on. So let us know if you like us being on Facebook, because I know there's some people on Facebook that is not on Clubhouse, and vice versa. So if you like this idea of us coming to do like it's really a sister chat where we you like it a lot? Okay, okay, so Thursday nights it's you should see us on Sundays. I mean on Saturdays. Saturdays, man, we be cutting up. We be cutting up on Saturdays. Hello, Kelmay, New Jersey. Okay.
I just want to add, mark your calendar for February 16th. That's the next time we'll be live. So it's February
16th,
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This was fun. I like this.
I like it too, because I get to see our beautiful faces.
the same. We got to see your face and your new
To
haircut
see your
and all
beautiful
that.
face.
Child, thank
Sylvia's
you.
got on her red lips. Bonita just got her braids done.
Ah,
I need to
these
get my
braids are
braids
life
done.
support. These braids are life support.
Not life support.
So,
So nobody
Fed,
in Clubhouse, any feedback?
huh?
So nobody in Clubhouse, any feedback?
Oh, let me check. Anybody on
Not in the
Clubhouse?
chat. Not yet.
Not yet. Oh yeah, because she's here too. Dr. J is here. But if you want to speak, you guys, or you know what to do. Just unmute your mic, and if you've taken the test in the past, because this is the first time I'm actually hearing it. When you said you taken it in school, I would have died. What grade was this? When you took did you take this in grade school? When did you take this?
Who said
Me?
that?
Yes, Jay.
No, I took it when I was in and getting ready to get my doctorate. I took it when I was getting my
Oh, I
master's.
got you. I'm saying
I
200
wish.
with
I wish I had taken it earlier. I wouldn't have been so confused. I didn't know
no
who I was. I was a mess.
200 questions freak me out. I always go to the end first to see how many questions, and then I freak out like, okay, I'm not doing this. But yeah. But this is good. This is really good. February 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going live.
It's gonna be good. I think I have a topic idea too, y'all. I'm gonna put it in our little group chat.
Yeah.
What we talked about earlier, Sylvia. I think that'll be good.
Yeah, I don't know. You know me, my brother.
You were too busy laughing. I'll put it in the group chat.
Yeah, she said she was too busy laughing.
I mean, she was hollering. I have to tell y'all about it. She was cracking up.
You have to share, because you just have to share that one. Wait, that's another topic. Wait a minute now.
What?
The female stuff.
No. Well, yeah, that's 3 topics. We have to write this stuff down.
That's true.
Or I'll be like that. But you get different treatment dealing with Black business owners as opposed to our counterparts.
Yeah.
Or dealing with African American, is there a familiarity? So, Dr. Dre, just for you have to share. I'm gonna start laughing again. You have to share what you experienced dealing with the African American.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna share it. Hold on. I'm gonna turn on my echo cancellation because somebody's saying they can hear an echo. So, okay, basically what happened, Sylvia and I were chatting earlier. We were talking about experiences that we've had with business owners who look like us, right? And so I was telling her that I had found a therapist and she was wonderful. I had been seeing her close to a year by the time, our therapist client relationship ended. And so she got super comfortable. She came on one day and she was like eating hot wings. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I haven't had a chance to eat. Like, we were on Zoom. So I'm like, okay. But, excuse me, it happened more than once. And then the kicker, the whole thing, when I was like, all right, sis, come on. She came on one day. And you know how on Zoom, everybody has these backgrounds. And it was like a really nice background. It looked like she was somewhere on vacation. So I'm like, cool. But I noticed that she had a filter on too. And some people use the filters to make it look like their face is made up. Well, she moved and the filter moved. And sis was in her bed in a onesie doing my therapy. And I was like, why are you in a onesie? Like, I'm paying you money and you showed up. It was a fluffy onesie with the hood. Like, she was in the bed and she was like laying down and she was trying to make it look like she was at a desk because the filter. So we were just like, come on, like, you have to be professional. You cannot show up to a paying client in a onesie eating hot wings. So Sylvia was cracking up because, yeah. And so we were just sharing that we've had our share of experiences with business owners who look like us. So we probably need to talk about that at some point. I wanted to wear a onesie tonight, but obviously, like, I can't do that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, now don't ask me if my bottoms look like my top. That's not your business. But yeah, you can't do that. Like, I couldn't believe this lady had on a full onesie. So yeah, we had a good laugh. What do y'all think? Look at Simone shaking her head. Can you believe my therapist wore a onesie to work? You're muted.
I'm sorry, you wouldn't get paid for the onesie. You wouldn't get paid.
Right?
Period. Like, no. No. You know, yeah. Okay. That's
Onesie,
hilarious to
hot
me.
wings, all that. She was, oh my gosh, I just didn't get a chance to eat. I just, like, you could have just pushed my session out 15 mintes, ate your hot
Right.
wings,
And
and
do
put on a
what you
shirt.
do. Right. Right. You're not taking
So
your job
yeah.
seriously. I think that's the downside fall of doing things virtual too. People has gotten
Hmm.
very comfortable and
Yeah.
they forget that this is actually work. Like treat
Yeah.
it as if you're going into an office. Like you don't have to, be the one, like you said, the pajamas, the sloppy eating and all of that. Like you should really have set your time that you're going to take lunch at 1 o'clock,
Hmm.
clock out, and come back at 2.
Right.
Do that, and it shows more professionalism. Yeah, so I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Either
it.
that or send me some wings, because how you gonna get here eating wings? How do you know I'm not hungry?
How you
Send
get
me a
the
10
way?
piece and we can eat them together. But I ain't just gonna eat wings in front of me. I was mad.
Oh my goodness. How you gonna get the wings though? Is the question.
Right.
That is hilarious. This has been a good conversation, you
It
guys.
was.
And I definitely think we should do this again in this way, this fashion. We wanted to come out um, a different way. We've been doing it on Clubhouse for over a year and plus change, right? Now going on 2 years, I think. 2 years now. And so we've been doing it every Saturday and it's been blessing people, blessing the women. People has gotten delivered, set free. We just had a safe space for the women to come and conversate. And hey, now this year we just wanted to add more texture to the conversation by putting our faces on. Bonita doing what are you doing, girl? Lord have mercy. But we wanted to come out. We really wanted to show more love to our Sisters of Worth group that I've have on here on Facebook. I really want to be active. One thing I've found out is that if you're not really active, people will not respond. So I think if we come out here more often, they will more respond. I got over 2,000 people in the group. So I do want to activate the people that's already in the group. So if you want to see us live, and Alicia, you're here, but if you want to see our faces, we are on the Sisters of Worth group as well. So you definitely Facebook group chat. Go ahead and like it. We definitely would like you to follow us there too as well. Yes, I definitely want you to take advantage of that. And we'll find other ways um, to come out and make this happen so that persons that like Sylvia and Kalia and all these other amazing women could come out. They'll see it, they'll engage. And if you have any topics, ladies, that you want us to just jab at, because I really think we're like the Christian View, yo. We're like the Christian people of View. I swear to God. We just say what we have to say and we just leave it at that. Dr. J, she's cute, but she'll stab you, I'm just saying. And then you got myself, who's just like a renegade. Sylvia, she asks questions that you don't want to hear, but she's asking the question because that's Sylvia. And, we got the militant, we got the military. Woo! Prophetess Bonita, who is like, I don't know if we're just like a real good group, and we just talk and speak it as it is with no filter. Of course, this is a Christian based ministry, so you're not going to hear foul words, you're not going to hear derogatory words, and neither are we going to come out disrespecting people, because that's not what we are. We don't take personal topics, like if what we would hear or see on Facebook about certain people, and elaborate something like that. I think is left to people who's trying to find topics and just want to talk about and gossip people. We are not I don't want to call his name, but y'all know who he is, the gossip of the gospel. Okay, we ain't him. Okay, we're definitely not him. We're just women who came together. Actually, Dr. J, we're in all parts of the city. Dr. J is in California. Prophetess Bonita is in New York. In where are you? You in Georgia?
I'm 2 hours away from you in boring Augusta, Georgia.
You in Georgia? Okay, so she's in Georgia. Why you from New York?
Right, right.
Okay, and Sylvia is in Jersey. She's in New Jersey. So we're in all different, and we just come together, and we come up with these topics, and we tackle it. And these are topics that you won't necessarily hear in your everyday church pulpit, because we preach the word, but we know how to sweep things under the rug too. So because if you know church politics, you know that we like to sweep things under the rug. But this platform is a space where we talk about it all, because we didn't get the chance to either express or express our issues and problems. A lot of us has grown up with the problems because it wasn't discussed in our homes. It was not discussed at the church. We didn't have the mentor. We didn't have the coach. We didn't have the therapist. We didn't have none of that. We literally had to just accept and just grow up. And we wish we had persons that we can talk to. Again, for me at this age, just having this conversation alone, and me growing up, you saying what you said, Dr. J, and explaining my personality, and had no clue how to label it or how to seek help in certain things. Like this year, I decided 2023 for that I'll be intentional in taking care of my emotions, because I've never dealt with my own emotions. I'm just like, okay, it's done. I cried my last tear. Let's move on to the next day. I'm good. I'm fine. But I've never dealt with it, and I'm making it purposeful, intentional to deal with my feelings, dealing with who I am, my deeper feelings of who I am, and whether that is listening to a wellness tape, whether that's exercising, whether that's going to a therapist. I want to take care of my mind, because I found out, and the Lord revealed to me, that if you don't take care of things in your pre stages, you will become depressed. You will become the one that has the mental issue and the mental problem. And I'm just going to say this: not all mental issues come from a generational curse or a generation. Like your mother had different mental issues, so you come out with it. No, not all of that is. I'm not talking about that. The ones that has that's to take medication for it, like bipolar and schizophrenia and all these things. I'm talking about demonic torment, and I'm talking about I'm talking about demonic torment, and I'm also talking about depression and oppression. These things fester when you don't deal with your emotions. If you don't deal with it, if you don't pray about it, if you don't read your word, if you don't go to a therapist, if you don't seek mentorship, if you don't seek somebody who can pray with you, these things can lead into demonic depression. You can have a nervous breakdown. All of these spirits can come on you if you don't take it. If you don't take the precautions to get well and to deal with it now. And as you get older, because when you're older, as older women, we are more sensitive. I think for us, I think as you get older, you become a little bit more sensitive. You may cry about everything. You may take things to heart more. We become very sensitive as older women, but because we're so stuck in our traditional ways, we don't know how to deal with it. We don't know how to. We don't want to accept anything new. You know, and yeah, I ain't going to nobody's therapist because that makes me crazy. That's a psychic. No, that's not psychiatrist. You got to know the difference between psychiatrist, therapist, and a daggone psychologist. You got to know the difference between the three. And one is medicated to give you, and out of those three, coaches, mentors, psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, only one of them is licensed to give you medication. One. Everybody else just gives you the word, gives you good word and counselor. I'm sorry, but only one is really the one to give you medication for your psychiatric issues or problems, and that's the psychiatrist, right? So yeah, so I really appreciate this conversation. I'm just going to toss the mic to anybody who wants to um, say their last closing words, but this was amazing. And if you want us to definitely continue here on Facebook, and you have stuff to give to us, topics to give to us, please inbox any one of us. Our names is on there. Bonita's on there. Sylvia's Grace is on here. Dr. J's on here. We would love to get everything from you so that we can talk about it. We ain't afraid. We ain't never scared. Heard? Okay, bye.
It was when you said we ain't never scared that we all immediately was like, what?
We ain't never scared. What? We ain't never scared.
Look at Bonita. I love it. I had so much fun today, y'all. This has been great. I can't wait to do it again. I'm super stoked. So yeah, I don't really have any closing remarks. I've talked enough. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right, make sure you mark your calendars. February 16th, 7 p.m. Definitely stay connected. If you're not following the Sisters of Worth Facebook page, please go ahead and do so. Follow the YouTube Life with say it, Simone. Say your YouTube page.
Life with Lady Ashley.
Yes. So you definitely want to stay connected. We're like,
I'll be vlogging for real, y'all. Do y'all have seen any of my vlogs? I'll be vlogging. Y'all need to see it. I'm talking about y'all ladies up here on the top. All right, go ahead, Sylvia.
But definitely stay connected. Like, we're like this in real life. It's nice to be able to, we vibe on Clubhouse, but I think it's nice to actually see one another's reaction. So we know that you enjoyed this, but definitely stay connected because we're, like Apostle said, we talk about stuff that's not necessarily talked about in the church. So it gets real. We don't always, somehow we always bring it back because we are women of faith. So you are going to get the word at some point. We don't beat you over the head. But at the end of the day, that's where our roots are. That's our foundation. So, but again, we welcome everybody. Well, it is the Sisters of Worth. It's always nice for the gentlemen to come in. The only thing that I do miss about Clubhouse, I love to hear people's their comments, their questions. I know you can type it on here, but we have to get this figured out too, like with Facebook, because it's a see Facebook user. So we'll try to work on that. But next time, I think just make sure you just give StreamYard permission. So we'll be able to, because, we're welcoming. So we want to be like, hey, thank you, Sylvia, thank you, Akila. We want to be able to call your name out and shout you out again. So again, we thank you so much. We don't take it lightly. It's Thursday. You could have been doing anything else, but you chose to join us. And we pray that you were blessed. It's all about mind, body, and spirit. So definitely join us Saturday. We're back on Clubhouse. I think we're going to go dive deep into the other temperament, melancholy. Scroll up if you're just joining on. And you know what? It's not too late to share the page. Please go ahead and share, even if you just jumped on, so others can be blessed as well. Join us again this Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Clubhouse, so we can go into the other temperaments. as well. So this has been amazing. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say, but other than I love y'all for real.
I just want to say, yeah, definitely keep in contact with us. Make sure you join February 16th and join us on Saturdays, and let's grow together. That's what I love about the Sisters of Earth, man. We're all about growth. A lot of us are transparent. There's no judging. That's what I absolutely love about this group of women, and even the women who come in Clubhouse. Everybody's just so open. I feel like it's a place where we have conversations we've never had before. So let's grow together. Everyone have a blessed week and see you Saturday.
And definitely we can send the link to you if you desire to come into the space and show your face and you want to ask the question. We do have the link available. Just let us know. Just say, I want to be on the stage. And say, I want to be on the stage. And when you say, I want to be on the stage, we'll send you the link via Messenger and you can come in and we'll have you in the queue. And we'll have to do you one at a time because I think there's only several. It's not as like Clubhouse. You can't have a bunch of people on the stage, but we can bring you in one at a time so that you all can say your questions, say your comments, and all of that good stuff. Okay, all right. So that's it. But as we say, be blessed, be empowered, be productive. But most importantly, stay on purpose. And may the peace of God be with you. I love you guys. And we'll see y'all again. God bless you all.
Take care.
Take care.